financial management in international business.
Financial organizational structure in international business. So, multinational companies can choose to manage their financial operations centrally or via a decentralized organizational structures. So, there are two. First is centralized structures. The advantage of a centralized structures are that the company can afford to hire and retain specialized staff with deep expertise who can bring savings to the company through centralized cash management and more efficient capital investment. So, centralizations can improve control and compliance with corporate policies. These structures enables the firm to gain economies of scale for investment and borrowing activities that can reduce transaction costs and provide the firm with the most competitive pricing. The second is decentralized structures. So when we say decentralized structures, due to variations in language, consumers, cultures, business practices, and government rules, laws, and regulations among different countries. A decentralized structures lets exploit multinational firms exploits local knowledge and business conditions to deal with uncertainty. The downsides of decentralized approach are higher costs due to having to hire more employees, some unavoidable duplications of effort, and diminishment of control. Islamic countries practice Sharia, the prohibitions of charging interest on money. There are approved Sharia compliance alternatives to interest and speculation investment. For example, instead of lending money and charging interest, bank can lend money and earn profits by charging rentals on the assets leased to the customer. One alternative investment strategy, Masharaka, allows profit and loss sharing. It's a partnership wherein profits are shared per an aggregation ratio and losses are shared in proportion to the capital or investment of each partner. So now let's move on to global money management, moving money across borders. So global money management and centralized deposits. Global money management involves moving money across borders and managing the firm financial resources in a way that minimizes taxes and transaction fees while maximizing the firm's returns. So a multinational company can make the most of its cash reserves by holding cash balances at a central location called centralized depository. So there are two main advantages of centralized depositories. First, the company earns a higher interest on higher amounts of cash because cash from across the company is pooled. Second, pooling cash reserves reduces the total amount of cash that the company needs to hold because the company of cash held on hand as a precautionary measures against the unexpected can be pulled and thus reduce. It's unlikely that all the worst cases will happen simultaneously. Centralized money management also lets a company trade currencies between its subsidiaries and thereby eliminate intermediaries like banks. Multilateral netting is a technique which companies use to reduce the cost of cross-border payments between subsidiaries. So, in real-life example, Colgate-Palmolive operates in 218 countries. Much of its manufacturing operations are centralized rather than being located in numerous countries around the world. As a result, subsidiaries do a lot of business with each other. Colgate headquarters requires that all subsidiaries submit and settle their payments to each other on the same day by directing all settlement to one day. Colgate maximizes the benefits of multilateral knitting and saves on the spread. This reduces the transaction cost as well as the risk of currency fluctuations. So, fronting loan is a loan made between a parent company and its subsidiary through a financial intermediary such as bank. So, the advantage of using fronting loans as way to lend money rather than the parent lending the money directly to the subsidiary is that the parent can gain some tax benefits and bypass local laws that restrict the amount of funds that can be transferred abroad. So, with fronting loan also, the parent deposits the total amount of a loan in the bank. So, the bank then lends the money to subsidiary. So, next is the tax haven. Is a country that has very advantageous corporate income taxes. So, just like for example, Bermuda is a well-known tax haven. The bank pays interest to the tax haven subsidiary. The subsidiary doesn't pay taxes on that interest because of the tax haven laws. At the same time, the interest paid by the subsidiary receiving loan is tax deductible. Next, transfer price is the price that one subsidiary or submit of the company charges another subsidiary or subordinate for a product or service supplied to that subsidiary. Since the pricing taking place is between entities owned by the same parent firm, there's an opportunity for pricing an item or service at significantly above below cost in order to gain advantages for the firm overall.